Sometimes I feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Oh, hello, everybody. Oh, welcome, and it feels so good to be home here, and I have this huge echo. Did you fix that? Okay. hello. So I just want to welcome everybody and say, hey, hello, welcome to the live show. Amazing show tonight. This is our special investigation episode. As you know, I got the woman of the hour, my good friend, colleague, Jennifer Shaffer in the house.
Hello. How are you?
I am well, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
And we pulled our reinforces and
Yes.
got our partner in crime.
Literally.
The amazing psychic medium, AJ Barrera. Hi, AJ.
Hello, Colby. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Excited to be here. Always excited. Yes.
So good to have you here. Hi.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You guys have been so busy, huh? It's a busy time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is very busy. Sometimes it takes me a while just to process what happens before something else happens. you
Yeah.
know? Just
Yeah, this is good, though. AJ, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been pretty busy. Just running all over the place, doing some shows and stuff, radio shows and whatnot. But I love this time because it's pretty funny because I think a lot of radio shows or producers, they think like we're only good for Halloween or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's have a psychic on. You know what I mean? But it's like we're good every day of the year.
every day
Every
day is Halloween. for
Right,
us.
exactly, right?
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, no, but I love it. I love working with you guys, and it's always a good time, always good laugh. So, and plus, we all work from the heart. We all have a passion of healing and wanting to help families and people. So
Absolutely. And that's why, this tonight, Jennifer and I, we do this once a month, the special investigation episode, and we'll talk about a missing persons case, an unsolved cold case, and so we thought tonight we would open it up and let's talk about what is happening, because there is so much going on with the future of forensic investigation, intuitive investigation, and Jen here is like literally on the forefront of it. She just got back from Denver, I believe it was, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, Jen. What was the weekend like? What was it about?
It was, it was incredibly enlightening for me. I go into it not really understanding exactly the fullness of it. And so I am a member, I'm on the board of directors for this conglomerate called FOVAMP, which means
Families of homicide victims and missing persons.
And yes, I know, I'm like, FOVAMP. And so I was asked to speak. And this is with a couple hundred people, and half of it was families and half of it was law enforcement. We had the Colorado Bureau of Investigations, we had police detectives, police officers, you name it, they were there. And so it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but we have something that is groundbreaking technology for another avenue that law enforcement can use, as well as families and just your regular people. And so if you can imagine getting up there and speaking about this, you could hear a pin drop. And I thought, I'm going to be the last one up. I was put on the last part. I thought, they'll be sleeping after lunch, that kind of thing. Oh, no, it was nothing like that. They were just, if looks could kill, it was kind of like that. But it was so rewarding because they, a lot of times, and this is what we've discussed earlier, that law enforcement doesn't even know how to work with us.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
don't. And so one of the first things I said to them was, just like the media, you have a love-hate with the media, you have a love-hate with psychic mediums because of all the bad things that have happened with psychic mediums. I can't take that away. I call myself an intuitive, and it's not my job to make you believe in anything. And they just sat there, I'm like, it's your job. It's my job to provide information, not evidence. The evidence is what you have to go out and get.
Absolutely.
We don't solve cases. We help assist cases. But we've designed this, I'm also one of the vice presidents of a company called Beneficial Intelligence Syndicate, which has created this app called Impartial Witness. And this app has been in the making for the last 2 years. It's been Joyce Jackson, the president, has put her heart and soul in it. Michelle Eddins has been a part of it. Tony and Steve Ingram have put it, collaborated putting it together, and we finally have it available, which we'll go over in a little bit. But it truly is. If you can take it like this, if everybody knows America's Most Wanted, right? Where you'd have to call in and give hotline tips. Well, the hotline tip now will be through an app.
Which is so awesome and convenient now.
Right. And then the artificial intelligence will gather all the information to make a more cohesive profile. Because a lot of times, when I listen to police officers, they don't have all the time to field all these phone calls. It just doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
And so this would be something to not only take that part, but also have the municipalities talk to each other. They don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate. And there's no database like that.
Absolutely.
There's a DNA database, but that doesn't get anybody talking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a big undertaking. It's a huge, how would you want to say this?
Endeavor.
It's a huge
Yeah.
endeavor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we are now about ready to go live with it. And I think we should talk about the class and how the class will come into part of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But it was a big weekend. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no, I think it's fascinating. I think it's great. And it's, it is good. And it is part of, psychic mediums, intuitives stepping up. And, I think a lot of intuitives do get these hits of information. How many times, do you watch the news or Dateline 40? I always call it, I don't know about you guys, but I am hooked on any crime show I can get my eyeballs on. I mean, I must be to the regular world kind of creepy because I will just. But when when you watch it, you get those hits of information. You get those pearls, and a lot of psychic mediums. Intuitives, they're empathic, right? They're actually feeling, and they don't know what to do about it. They don't know what to say about it. And so with that, there is that feeling of, how do they go forward? So the app, I think, will help them. You're going to have some students and participants that can actually
to be the beta testers.
Testers.
And then we'll be providing classes not only for people to understand to really kind of hone in on what their gifts are, because everybody has unique gifts, and empathy is a big part of it, to know what's yours and what is somebody else's. And so this will help, but also to teach law enforcement how to work with us.
Yes.
So basically what I did this last weekend was disarm them.
Yeah.
I did. I disarmed them. They were just like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
You should have heard, because they, God love Rob Wells. He put a 1-page just with me in there. And then so I'm, and of course I looked, he put a picture on it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So
they're like this.
I walked in and it was like, I wonder if she knows what I'm feeling now. I could just hear it behind. I just had to calm myself down a little bit. I wanted to throw up, actually. It was kind of one of those weird things. But we really are bridging the gap, collectively bridging the gap, so that we are a resource for families who are in dire need of just a different answer, not a different answer, but something else.
Another resource.
Another resource.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always tell people, and I think, it goes for all of us. I mean, we do not solve cases. We're only just a tool. We only assist in it. And I think
the first thing I said.
Yeah, I think people need to understand that. Go, help me find my child or my brother and this and that. I go, I can assist in the situation. I cannot do the footwork myself. That's law enforcement's duty and job.
And the other thing, again, and we're going to talk about our workshop that we're doing,
which I'm excited for too.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, it's going to be a Christmas present all in itself, right?
Yes.
But the other thing too is, there's so many complications and difficulties. But even when someone asks you to assist, or can you look into this, or can you help? so many times I've heard, well, I don't want to waste I've heard that from the family or something. Well, if you don't really know, I don't want to waste my time. It's like, listen, if you're wanting facts and all of this up front, like,
Right.
I'm not going to play.
Also, by the way, it's been pro bono, so you're not paying for it
exactly.
to begin with.
Exactly.
This
Yep.
is our way collectively that we've been giving back for the last,
How
I don't know,
many
5 years?
Yeah, yeah. We've
5
been doing
years.
it a long time.
Knuckles.
We got to do it again. We got to do this. Ready?
Okay, we are officially crime dorks.
There we go. But the thing is but it's crime because we can see the healing in it. Whether that's whether that's helping the family, just know that someone's caring enough to look into it, or maybe leading, opening up the law enforcement's eyes to another way or another perpetrator or another situation, right?
Right.
So absolutely. And we'll talk about how, we all work a little differently too, because that's great. I do think the thing I love about the three of us in particular is, our ethics and our integrity are in the same realm.
Absolutely.
It makes a big difference.
We wouldn't be teaching together.
Right, exactly.
If one other person wasn't like
We're
that.
going to have fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fun. So let's talk about this, though. We've got this workshop. Oh, real quick, before I get to that, just, what? We've got a lot of callers. We're taking calls, but your calls have to be about your own development or questions you have about this work in particular. So we're not going to be doing psychic or readings on actual cases right now, just because there's so much liability with it. It would be irresponsible for us to kind of tune in to do something like that.
Absolutely.
So
Right. We can help you understand what you're seeing.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's different.
If
but
you want to, that's what I'm saying. If you've got questions about your development, give us a call, 323
or take the class.
992-3115. But let's talk about this workshop we got coming up. Find, forensic investigation, natural development. We came up with it. We had
You
this.
came up with it. Colby. Let's be clear. I have my Investigations Academy. I have a lot of things. Let's be clear. Colby came up with Find, which was brilliant. And we're so careful about where we give information and how we give it, but I have to give her credit for that.
Thank you.
I will not be a part of taking credit for that.
Thank
Neither
you.
will I.
No, it was, but I thought, I just thought this was important too, because, you do see this as an up and coming area that people want to focus and train in.
Right.
And I thought, I have strong feelings about it, and you guys do. Go ahead, Jen.
I'm sorry. Can I give you statistics about the reason why it's like this?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
please.
yes.
So there's we called it a huge problem that we're bringing like the app's bringing, all of us collectively are bringing meaningful solutions to. There has been more than 211,000 homicides committed since 1980 that remain unsolved.
Wow.
Okay.
11,000.
A body count greater than the population of Des Moines, Iowa.
Wow.
All right. The FBI estimates that the homicide clearance rate in 2012 was only 64%, down from 90% reported in 1965.
That's
wow.
crazy.
Okay, when the government first reported statistics, homicides are 26% less likely to be solved today than they were 40 years ago.
Wow.
Most
Makes
big
sense.
cities have stopped reporting homicide statistics to the FBI.
And that makes sense. I think there's too many. Sorry, but go ahead.
Just the last part. Reports of missing persons have increased sixfold in the past 25 years, from roughly 150,000 in 1980 to about 900,000 this year. And I'll explain that later. But 4,432,880 people globally went missing, never to return in the past 20 years.
Yeah, so this is good. I mean, there's a lot here. There's a lot of why it's needed.
Absolutely.
And what were you going to say, AJ?
No, I think it's so sad because, I think a lot of people are afraid to report things.
Yeah.
Two, they're afraid they're going to be somehow involved or what do you call it?
A suspect.
A suspect,
even.
yes, absolutely. Or two, a lot of people are afraid because of, say, for instance, they're afraid that they're going to get caught somehow, or they're affiliated specifically with the crime, and they either have a crime, a felony, probation, something's already going on prior to that, so they don't want to be involved. And it happens quite often. I mean, I'm sure you see it quite often. But
Well, I've been investigated more times than anybody. I mean, they have investigated me so many times.
Yeah.
How could she have known that? That's not public
Right.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, let me explain.
Right. This is what I do.
This is what I do. And it took a while. I'm like, I'm just a mom.
Right.
Let's let them know though. So this 2-day workshop, we're going to hold this January 20th, 21st in 2018, and it's going to be in Los Angeles. And we have many areas that we have some guest speakers, but we also each of us are going to teach. We're going to teach together. We're going to teach independently, but we're going to go into all these areas that are so critical to doing this work.
Right. We're giving you in 2 days what is taking us step by step to learn and to develop and to be transparent with law enforcement over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we are trying to give you every single piece so that you'll have a better head start on it.
Absolutely.
So
I think
stuff that you can skip.
I think it's exactly. I think it's so important for those who are interested of just want to know, want to help families. I think we have people that are just curious about this work, but those who are taking the workshop, I think there's obviously a calling why they're there. You know what I mean? And some people, that take in development classes, psychic development classes, they'll say this is my first time doing something like this, or the first time I ever doing anything. Will I be right? Will I be wrong? And you got to think how we feel when we do this with law enforcement. We work with families. Are we going to be right? Are we going to be wrong? And I think you really need to just understand it's about trust and honoring
and interpretation.
Absolutely, you have to.
They're never wrong on the other side.
They're not. It's just us. It's just us.
We can screw up the investigation.
Absolutely.
And that's what has happened.
You're 100% correct.
AJ,
Absolutely.
what is the hardest part when you work on cases all the time? You're so heavily involved in this, and you have and you teach this independently as well. And I want to know what is, just personally, what is the hardest part you find about doing this work in this field?
In this field, training and the right knowledge.
Okay.
Plain and simple. People are tired of getting repetitive information. I have people that taking my workshop, I think last month or whatever, and said, well, we're tired of getting this and the same thing over and over again. They actually want to work on cases. They want exercise.
Yeah.
They want to have an understanding of the protocols and ethics. And that's something that I think we talked about.
When you're working on a case, what is the hardest part for you? So when you're actively helping with a case.
The detective. No, the detective. It's not the family. It's the detective. Because again, we're just a tool. And they need to learn how to use us, quote unquote, how to use us as a tool. We need to learn how to use them as a tool. And that's the hardest part. I'm not afraid of them, but it's really making sure they understand, this is what I'm getting. I don't want open-end questions. This is how I'm going to deliver it to you. This is how it's coming through. I want to make sure that they know that they can trust me and I can trust them. So there has to be a rapport in that relationship. So I guess trust is the main thing, really.
Absolutely.
It's not the fear of being wrong, because I can be the first to admit I can be wrong on a case and interpreting things. So
that is
I have
the
no
biggest. I always say that. I'm like, listen, I could have the interpretation wrong.
Right. Absolutely.
I am more vulnerable to this process because I apparently knew everything in my 20s.
Right.
I know nothing now.
Well, we have a long line of callers, and so why don't we?
I only see one call up there. I'm kidding.
That is a big.
So how about
list.
let's take a call. You guys up to take a call, and let's just see what development questions they have. So again, if you guys get through, if you'll do me a favor, make sure your TVs and cell phones and all that noise and buzzing is off. And what we will do is, think of the question you want about your development, or a question that you have about interpreting what you're getting, and we'll help you along. So let's do number 21979. All right, 979, you are on air with Colby, Jennifer, and AJ Barrera. Who is this?
Hello.
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 Hi. This is Colby, Jennifer, and AJ. Who is this?
This is Cynthia Rodriguez.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
Cynthia.
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good, good. Did you have a question about development that you wanted to ask us tonight?
Yes. I just wanted to know about my health.
So, Cynthia, so just so you know, what we're not doing actual personal readings tonight. Tonight is about, developing your own awareness, your own intuitive gifts. So we're not doing personal readings tonight. I thought that was posted, but I'm sorry if it wasn't. Okay. But do me a favor, I'll be back on next week. I'm going to take callers then. You give me a call back and we'll just try to see if you get through then. And I'll be more than happy to tune in for you then. Okay.
Okay. Well, I have a question though. they've always told me every time I've been to a psychic or to a medium, they've always told me that I was born with a gift, and that supposedly that's why I can see things. And I wanted to know, how do you work on that?
Oh, good. Any of you guys want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
can jump into this.
Okay.
From my I guess background of doing this work, I came into this work as a family with very religious backgrounds and whatnot, so there was always taboo. So I think it's about trusting yourself and trusting that it comes from good light, it comes from good intentions.
Right.
It comes not from something negative, bad, or whatnot. So kind of forget
so
all the
good use of
hoopla
that.
that just you have, stigmata.
No one bad's going to
Stigma,
come
sorry.
in.
Yes, yeah.
No one bad's going to come in and give you good information.
Right. Yeah, right.
They can't-
Except your parents, right?
Well, I'm talking about from elsewhere, not from here.
But in all honesty, I think it's really about development, really
Right.
about grounding, meditation, and really knowing the beginnings of this work. Because
It's in the light.
Yeah, because I believe that if you come from your light, you work with your light, you're going to attract that energy with yourself and the things that are around you. And if you're working with taboo stuff, negative energy, you're going to have that energy affected in your life today. So I believe as long as you come from I believe as long as you have a good heart and good intention, that's where it comes from. If
Yeah.
you always felt like you had this ability,
Yeah.
obviously,
after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Spirit, God, someone's telling
did
you.
you hear how many homicides there are? We
Yeah.
need
Right.
as many light workers as possible.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's so important that we need more light workers out there that are willing to take the opportunity to learn and develop.
Yeah, well, at least just for your own growth. Why
Right.
not? I mean,
Right.
you
You
don't
can
have
use it
to-
in any area.
You don't have to get out there and do this professionally or anything.
Right.
But if you're getting these images and you're getting these clairvoyant pictures, definitely practice it, develop it. You can make it stronger. It can help you in your own life. It can help
Yes.
you with your family.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add, Jen?
Nope.
No, that was it. We
That was
covered
it.
it.
We covered it.
So I do
Thank you
hope
so much.
you are
You're
so
welcome,
welcome,
Cynthia.
and play with it. I say play with it and enjoy it. And thank you so much for calling in.
Absolutely.
Lisa Williams always had a great little thing where she'd say just
Thank you, Crystal.
sorry, thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
It's like she would
Bye-bye.
she would say, go to when you got the elevators, if you're out of town, try to just first thought which elevator is going to
Oh,
Open,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
We do that all the time. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
Right.
And like little things like that can, get your pineal gland strengthened.
Absolutely.
It's little things like that.
And I think people, the one thing is, yes, we do need more light workers. Absolutely. We do need that vibration, to offset and to do as much as we can. But I'm a big believer as well that, people just do it for fun.
Yes.
Do it for a hobby.
Yes.
Do it for yourself,
Yeah.
If you're getting it like AJ said, I think, for a reason, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, so there we go. All right, let's do another caller. Let us do number 11. No, number 12. I can't read that. 562. Hey, 562. This is Colby, Jennifer, and AJ. Who is this?
This is Desiree.
Hi, Desiree.
Hi,
How
Desiree.
are you? Look at Desiree. First of all, I want to acknowledge that you are a very, very good listener and student. That is excellent sound quality coming through.
Well, thank you.
Yes, look at that. Well done, my friend.
What would be your question, sweetheart?
I just wanted to find out if, actually wanted to see if I could connect with any of my loved ones that have passed on.
No, we're not doing readings tonight, so we're
Okay.
doing questions about actual development. So I'll tell you what, how about we answer this for you? How can she connect to her own loved ones?
Oh, many ways. Again, talking a little bit about my background, you have the Day of the Dead. So there's a way of honoring them, doing altars. You can make their favorite dish, things of that nature. Very simple things. 2, you can actually ask them to come to you in dreams right before you go to bed.
Right.
I kind of call them the kind of like happy hour, 30 minutes before you go to bed. You kind of get in that state of mind, and all of a sudden you realize like, okay, I'm going to sleep. And you ask them to step forward and come through. And they may step forward, later on throughout the night, or you may not realize that there wasn't a dream. You may realize that there might be something weeks down the road that you were like, oh my God, this steps out. So
Right, and I
there's
feel like
baby steps.
you can also
Yes.
hold something that they've given you or that they have, and that will connect you as well. Hold it to your heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And the other
All
thing
right.
is when you have a thought of your loved one, when they just kind of pop into a thought or your head, it's because they're already connecting to you.
Yes.
It's like that's where the inspiration comes
They
from.
give you the thought.
So trust it, and believe it, and I do hope that helps. And thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Thank you.
So
Okay, well, thank you very much.
yeah, absolutely. All right, let's do one. We got number 31602. All right, 602. This is Colby with Jennifer and AJ. Who is this?
This is Karen Hart.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. Are you on speakerphone, babe?
I am. Is that a...
Yes, it is
I
a
am not
problem.
now.
Okay,
There you go.
perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's so
Yay.
much better. Thank you. What question do you have for us tonight about your development?
Okay, so I have been read by Jennifer a couple of times. She might recognize my name. But years ago, she had mentioned that this might pop up for me, investigations.
Yes,
so
I
here
did.
we are.
I do remember that.
So, yeah.
Karen.
So
Did
my
you sign
question,
up? Did you sign up
my
for our 2-day
question
workshop?
Sign up for
What's
it.
that?
I've been telling you to do this work, like
yes,
you said. But
yes, you've been telling me for a few years now, Taryn, get your ass together. So
That doesn't sound like you, Jennifer.
but she yeah, I love Jennifer. She is the best.
What is your?
Yesterday, I've been in hospice work for years.
Oh, wow.
I've been a hospice nurse. And yesterday I was laid off from that position, which was divinely guided. When you're done with something, you're done. And here we are now. I'm listening to you guys on the radio. So it's kind of interesting. But,
Kind of?
little bit, Karen. Come on, come to LA.
I know.
Well,
I know, Jennifer. So my for practice or just for my own to see where I'm at. I have played around with tracking, where it is I'll kind of connect to a person, and then I'll try to see what it is that they have seen or that they've experienced,
So
and that's
reading
been
them.
really interesting to kind of see through their eyes. But I'm wondering like how I could maybe possibly take that to the next level. And also I have a knowingness of this has got to be pretty gnarly work in what you see or feel or hear in the victim's experience.
Okay.
And I also feel that possibly the hospice work and some of what I would see with my patients and their families could have maybe prepared me for some of the gnarliness you may see.
Like a lot of people couldn't even. I couldn't do hospice. Like that would be too much for me, right? It'd be only for a lot of reasons, especially this year. But for you, yes, it opened it up. But you should also. You're basically when you say tracking, it's just different terminology. You're reading people. You're basically reading them already. So just take it further, take a couple classes. It doesn't mean you have to take our class or anything like that. Follow your guidance. I've always told you you should be doing this work. So however you want to quantify it with terminology is whatever you're comfortable with. But don't get caught up on what it is that you see. Like Colby, when I told her, years ago about the crime work and stuff, she's like, I don't really want to do that. That was her first thing. But slowly but surely, I'm like bringing her in, and she's so good at it. And then you have to get to a point where you have to understand that this isn't our lives. This is other people's lives. You don't want to go to a doctor. I call it the doctor thing. You don't want to go to a doctor who has a sniffling nose when you're sick. You need them to be strong and not have a cold, right? with us, you have to stay strong. You can cry later, but you have to stay strong, because if you have anything, any fear, like AJ said, if you have any fear towards this, you will be cut off from the information, which is really, you can't have fear when you do this. Okay? You will build.
Are you talking about my own personal fear or fear of getting involved in this?
I am talking about all of it.
Or either?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
AJ, anything you want to add in there?
I think I think it's important, though, for her to understand. I'm so sorry, Karen, for you to understand that what you're working with is something from light, something from good.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm explaining this is because, like, you would not believe, Colby, and I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but I have so many people or practicing development people that get upset with me because they think I'm working with negative or the negative light because I'm working on cases and missing person. Even though it's dark and whatnot, you're helping families. You're not working with that light.
It's not dark.
Yeah. So it comes from light, Karen, truly.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, Karen, it's all, like you said, divinely guided. So
hopefully
that will help you.
See you. We can't wait to see you in January.
I hope that helps you, and best of luck to you. Best of luck on developing your gifts, okay?
Absolutely.
And thank you
so
much.
Thank you so much,
all right.
guys.
So
love
great
you,
to
Jennifer.
See you. Oh, love you too, sweetheart.
Bye.
Hun.
Bye.
Bye.
It's good. It's good. We all remember that kind of. What do I do? And I don't want to do it.
Like I can't even watch crime shows.
Yeah,
like that freaks me out because it makes it so. See,
I love.
I love crime shows.
But I have clients now. I have clients that are on TV real fast. That are on TV. That are in shows that you're not supposed. Like just because they're on the show, I can predict all the endings.
Yeah,
like Blacklist,
right.
Blacklist, Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
Like I can actually go, oh, this is going to happen because I have a link.
Right.
Which to me, that's fine. That's perfect crime for me for TV. I don't need to go like with
you're that
the
good.
homicide and the like. It's just that I never even knew that could happen.
Right.
But the people working at the Blacklist were so mad because I said this was going to happen at the season ending last year. What?
And I always say, I always called it the Teresa Caputo game, but even just connecting. But, with all the shows, I watch it and then I hit it on pause or whatever, and I just start dialing in. All right, this is who did it. This is how they're going to figure it out. It's right. That's for anyone who's listening right now, if you want a way to kind of, hey, how do I practice? How do I develop? Put on some forensic file. I know every episode.
Make sure it's not a reality. Like, make sure it's a real show.
Right.
Don't try to predict the shows that are not real when it comes to criminal stuff. Because you'll be disappointed. Sorry, unless you have a link. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Make sure they're actual cases. I think actual cases.
Absolutely. Like my wife, that's all I watch is Dateline, all these other shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
My wife swears she thinks I'm gonna kill her because all the shows I watch and all the cases I deal with. And I go, no, I'm not. I go, I just
your wife is really good at this.
Yeah, I know. So, trust me, she would know far in advance if I would do anything. Even I went to go drive somewhere, she'd be like, oh, you're here. Forget the FBI, CIA, call her.
It's perfect.
By the way, I have.
Right. It's perfect.
Jennifer. So forget your husband.
Don't trust a girl named Jennifer.
I knew he was my brother from another mother.
There we go. All right. How about we take another caller? We got number 32210. Roxanne's got a question about development also. Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne.
Were you trying to hang up on us?
How are you doing?
I'm kidding.
I'm doing good, thank you. So I have a question, about development.
Okay.
So for as long as I can remember, I've always, forever, ever, always wake up like at 3 a.m. I always feel like presence, but I'm scared. And the call that you had right before I got on, I was listening to you guys saying, you can't be afraid, you can't be scared. But I feel like it's hard to go to that next step, that next level.
Let me tell you.
Always, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to. What happens when you wake up at 3? Yes, the veil is very thin between the hours of 11 and 4 a.m. Very thin. And if you're an intuitive, you do feel all that stuff. When I put my hand up, I can't even see it at night. There is a dimension that's there. In fact, I think the only reason why I see it is because I'm too much of a skeptic. I would have never believed it. but because I physically saw it,
Yes.
so they give that to people that are skeptics. That being said, that's just to get you to be in the question. Okay, but don't be fearful of it. There's nothing bad. It just, so if there's a light, like if you have a hall light and then and you see this stuff, it actually makes it look like it's dark, right? It feels like dark matter.
Absolutely.
It's not. It's not. So please know that. Know it's just to get your attention and look further, but it's nothing can hurt you. Nobody's going to come hang out with you. You're too good. Right? No one's going to be like, oh, I'm going to hang out with her. She's a lot of fun.
Like, oh my God.
And I think too, a lot of that, when you feel that anxiety and, because when you're feeling spirit, it can feel anxious or you can feel anxious.
Absolutely.
It's your
tap on your shoulder.
It's your physical response to it. So, so just know that when you're feeling
off of you.
Excuse me, babe.
So does it like feed off of you?
No,
like if I'm feeling anxious,
no. So what happens? No. So when spirit ends up, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, when spirit comes into your, like our energy field goes out 3 feet. It goes out 3 feet. And so when spirit comes into your energy field, it makes your heart rate go up because you're not used to it. That's all it is. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't do anything. So just know that and then know that you're going to be fine.
Yeah, AJ, what did you want to chime in on here? I can see you. I can see the wheels turning.
My wheels are turning. I mean, there's a couple of things because I want to go in a couple different directions because I kind of lost track of where a question was going.
Well, the question was she gets up at, is awoken at 3 a.m., feels spirit, and it's just kind of, nervous about the presence.
So in a couple ways, I mean, I'm very simple when I do this work, and I'm be very honest. I would just ask, who is it? Why you're here? To be quite honest, and that would be my honest opinion because, over the years, I would always try to meditate and focus on that, and realize that didn't do anything for me. When I was so direct and saying like, who popped up, and it's really, I would think it was my loved ones, and it wasn't my loved ones. Actually, my guide or my guys trying to get my attention, saying like, look, pay attention to this, or maybe this is a path you need to take. It wasn't something I was looking for. It was something I needed to pay attention to receive. So I think it's up to us to kind of receive those messages and just know that, again, we have to trust and remove our ego out of the way. Once we remove our ego, we realize this is all like not the fluff and stuff. This is true of what it is. So I think just really being receptive to the information, to be quite honest, and not judging it and not having that ego step in.
Right.
Really,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And just to follow up with that, so not only with spirits, but when you had mentioned intuitive, I feel like in my gut, I get feelings in my gut, like in the deep of my gut. And like I will be like, so-and-so is going to call today, or you know what, I really need to reach out to so-and-so today because I'm feeling like she could use the call. And sure enough, if I call a friend or whatever, hey, I so needed to get a hold of you.
What is the question around it?
Same feeling with spirit would be the same feeling with that intuition that I feel inside.
Well, it's a little different to me. It's a little different because whether you're getting spirit from the outside versus is your clairsentient working psychically in the examples you gave, you would use your clairsentient, that feeling with spirit. But, you tuning in, it's like a muscle. So you can use it in your everyday life to help you. So it is strengthening it. It is looking at it and seeing how you can develop it.
Yeah, so if you get a hit that your friend, you're feeling your friend, and then you look on your phone and you have a text message, that's it.
Yeah. It's just validation.
Yeah.
You got to keep practicing it. Absolutely.
I know. Oh, I know. And it's like, I guess it's just being scared of the unknown, right? Really scared, like, oh my God, something's going to happen to me. But what kind of door am I going to open?
You've already walked through the door.
All come flooding in.
But why would we not want to open that door?
Right. And
why would you not want to?
Yeah, because like what we mentioned earlier with, I think, one caller, or maybe even with you, is that it comes from good light. It's good energy. It's not, again, once you focus on the negativity or there's fear, again, there's that vulnerability that's there. And I don't say spirit feeds off that, but it's your own ego that feeds off that vulnerability, saying, oh, maybe I should not move forward. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Right. Yeah.
It's usually a belief system that needs to be broken down a little bit.
Yes. You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Because I grew up Catholic, and that's
Right here.
Well, there you go.
No.
I know.
That's not good. Don't do that.
I could trump that. I was raised Mormon.
Right.
I'm kidding.
You beat me.
I'm kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but it's not. Never mind.
All right. Well, I do hope that
Well,
helps
thank you,
you.
guys.
You are so welcome, and you
Thanks for
know,
calling
and
in.
believing in the positivity of it. You know, it's a wonderful thing that we're doing just by opening our awareness. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys so much, and I listen all the time.
Aw.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night. Bye.
You do the same thing.
Oh.
She's like Tony Sweets. Can't even say goodbye to this caller.
But that is a big part of it is you know, the beliefs that we grew up with, what was instilled with that. I don't even know if it was, you know, it can't even not necessarily be your belief, but it's the belief that was pushed upon you in some ways as well, right?
Quite often.
I think the more evolved people actually are religious, but also can have spirituality. Like my dad was like that. He accepted what I did for work, but he was a Mormon bishop. Yeah. And so and I'm like, you're way more evolved. I don't think I have that in this lifetime. It's not going to happen. But I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know? And we all came from fear initially.
Absolutely. I did.
And I think that's what gets us awake.
Yeah.
It takes chaos to get us awake.
Well, she's right about the unknowing, because initially you don't quite know. You don't quite know. I think you just don't quite know what's happening or what you're doing.
Right.
I have a strong feeling that future generations, it won't be quite like this, because you know we are teaching it. There is science around it. It is being more accepted on a public platform.
Absolutely.
So I think generations from now, they're going to know this. This is going to be an actual. Oh yeah, well this is you, and let's just put you in a little psychic school.
It'll be part of the FBI. It'll be part of the CIA.
Well, you gotta think. I mean, like about 15 years ago, maybe even longer. I mean, it wasn't even that widely accepted, and now that we're here, you have all these television shows. Like everyone in LA, everywhere you go now is psychic or intuitive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all naturally intuitive though, but
and everyone,
but everyone is a psychic or medium. They claim this, or are they working Kundalini, Reiki, this and that. I mean, there's something that's connected in a spiritual movement. We are in a spiritual society that we're in, and I think in the next 3.5 years that I think we're going to come to this awakening moment, and I think it's going to be like, holy crap! Like I think we're going to start becoming more accepting, even more so then, I guess, or in the future than we are now, to be quite honest. Yeah.
It's going to be more, I think, easier to help our future generations develop their gifts.
And not be afraid of them.
And not be
We're
afraid.
being more open to that.
Yeah.
Like with my kids, I just give them, I don't force anything on them well, never mind. But I don't when it comes to spirituality, they know what I do for work. If they have questions, my daughter loves the crime aspect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, could I get her to go to church? No. But
yeah.
anyway.
All right, we got a few minutes. Let's try to see if we got another caller who's got a question about their development. So if you've got a question about development, we're gonna go ahead and take a caller now. How about 626? All right, 626, you are on air. Who is this?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, who is this?
Yeah. This is Rosa.
Oh, hey, Rosa, how you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Well, you've got AJ, Jennifer, and myself. Do you have a question about your development tonight that you wanna ask us?
I don't understand that too much. I've been following AJ.
Oh, we all follow him.
In a few months.
I have spirits that follow me all the time too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been. I just have a question. I don't know if you guys could answer it, but the passing of my son. It's been a year, and I haven't been able to dream, and everybody else has dreamed.
Yeah.
My son, but I haven't.
Okay, so AJ, why don't since Rosa follows you and listens to you, why don't you maybe give her your feelings or your interpretation as to why does she why is her son not visiting her in a dream and doesn't mean he's not around?
Right.
Like, why don't you help
Absolutely.
with that? Okay.
Well, first of all, Rosa, sorry for your loss, and I believe like why your son steps forward to other people is maybe perhaps grief is a big part of it that creates that blockage. And, your passing of your son could happen recently or many years ago, but we have to have an understanding as human beings to go through that process. And, that creates a blockage of you trying to make that connection to see him, feel him, and sense him. What I would highly recommend is for you just to talk with him and communicate with him. And if you're in the car, driving around or cooking or whatever it is, let your son know, like, I want you to around me. I want you to show yourself to me, because they will make themselves known when you're ready. But I honestly believe, and again, I'm not a therapist, but I honestly believe intuitively that grief is blocking you. I don't think you have allowed yourself to grieve because you're still numb of that loss. You're still numb of that situation. And I think once you have that peace and resolution, then those signs will start popping up and going out like crazy. The weird part, and I do want to ask you this though, but I just believe that when your son comes through in a way, I just want you to know those feelings that you sense, like that gut feeling or the heart-wrenching emotions, that's part of your son letting you know that he knows that you're hurting. So I want you to remember those moments and take little notes to say, you know what, oh my God, why am I feeling it more so now? It could be his birthday, his death anniversary. It could be your birthday. So just pay attention to that, because I do believe that is his message or his sign to you to let you know, Mom, I'm still around.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I do feel with him that you actually smell him at times, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's
perfect.
him. So, and I have to tell you, like, I lost my dad this year. I have not seen him in a dream. And out of all people, it doesn't mean he's not around. So there's there's just different ways. But your son just showed me that you actually smell him, and that's him being around, because you get like a little jolt when you do. Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you for calling in. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
We're sorry for your loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a child. I can't imagine what it'd be like to birth one either, but above and beyond
tough.
that,
it's tough, because I think, like even from a mom, and you just lost your father, and I think people, when they're still in that moment, like, again, there's something that I think they know, honestly, meaning that spirit knows that we know how to deal with it on a different level, meaning like intuitives, or perhaps, someone who's grieving compared to someone else.
I'm still choked up even thinking about my dad. It's even right now. It's an instant thing that just...
Yeah.
And that, again, that emotion that I just told Rosa is the same feeling if that's your dad right there, like, like, he's right here with you in this very moment to let you know, like, look, I'm thinking about you right now.
And I'm such a skeptic. I'm like, no.
But I think those moments are the beautiful things we walk away with.
And I think you hit the nail on the head of, well, there's a couple things. I think you hit the nail on the head when the grief is so heavy. The energy is dense. It's not that the spirit isn't around them. It's just that they're so sad that they're not in the physical.
Right.
That they have a hard time.
We miss the things that are tangible. Absolutely.
We do. And, in no way, shape, or form doesn't mean that her son is not around her. So I'm glad that you told her to look for those other signs, and that, and hopefully that gives her some reassurance.
Absolutely. It's so important for us as human beings, even for us who are intuitives, to pay attention to them. We don't have to look for them, but they'll show themselves. They'll present them to us.
Yeah.
To let us know, like, hey, we're right here with you. Like I said,
and
my mom.
they want us to have fun.
Right.
They
Oh my
want
God,
us to have
yes.
fun. I'm like, what are you doing crying? And I'm crying right now. And he's like, you were supposed to have fun.
Right.
I do believe that they want us to have fun, and I do believe that they want us to talk to them and celebrate, and I think when we can stop putting expectations on how we expect them to come through, what we need from them, when we just open up to what they're providing to us, I think we can have a huge, amazing, and beautiful experience.
Right.
So, all right. Well, that is almost our time. We just got a couple minutes left. So what I wanted to do is, I know we've got some events coming up. Jennifer, you've got some charity things. Why don't you just tell them about what's happening?
I have something tomorrow night, but it's sold out. I met somebody that was actually he's an amazing Buddhist monk that actually helps rescue girls in the Himalayas, and we're going to do it. I mean, it's a longer story than that, but I was so deeply touched. And he asked me to come to India next year for 2 weeks to meet the Dalai Lama and the oracles. Wow. And really, because he's like, it was just very touching. So if anybody's around December 12th and 13th, Denise McDermott, who introduced me to this, who went to India last year, we're going to put a little fundraiser together.
Wonderful.
And we'll let people know exactly what that looks like. But he will be there, and the stories are just, you're right. Instead of like just hearing it on the news, you are right front and center of hearing where, and it really we are so lucky.
Yeah.
It's the most privileged country on the planet that we live in.
Yes.
Oh my God,
And
yes.
sometimes it takes other, we have a lot of things going on in this country. I'm not saying that we don't, but this really touched me. So
Awesome. And AJ,
amazing.
you've got a workshop coming up in December, right?
In December.
With Allison. I'm actually working with her next weekend, but
in Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
So I have a workshop December 1st through the 3rd on the Queen Mary in Long Beach with Allison Gannon, and we are going to teach us spiritual development, physical mediumship, and mediumship itself. So all the information can be found at ajbarrera.com. Just click on the events page, and you can find all the information for 1-day classes, 2-day classes, paranormal nights. There's a whole mixture of things.
He's not busy at all.
No, not busy.
Not even a smidge. And Jennifer, just give out your website real quick for everyone.
JenniferShaffer.com. That is JenniferShaffer.com.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, and then finally, you guys, we are doing that Find workshop. It's a 2-day workshop in January, so sign up. And that is next weekend. I'm with Allison. I get her first. Then I'll give her to you. I get first dibs on it. But we're going to be in Santa Barbara. It's a shame we don't. Maybe we'll have time to meet up for a drink or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll be there. It might be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Let's do
and
it.
I'll be in Lilydale next weekend, everybody.
Yay!
With Lisa Williams.
Yay!
So excited.
We do love our L's
Yes,
up, don't we?
I will be her little assistant.
Yay! Yay!
Very excited.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really, really incredible.
Absolutely. And for anyone who's interested in the January event, they can go to either of our websites to purchase your space there. There is early bird that's going on till the 30th or 31st.
Ends on the 30th.
Yeah.
Ends on the 30th.
Yeah, so those who want to purchase tickets, you can go either one of our website or social media.
It's limited space.
Limited space. I would highly recommend those who are interested in development or working in this work itself, missing persons, homicide forensics, all that good stuff. Check it out.
And we're going to make them the beta testers for this app. Right. So that is the key.
Perfect.
Yep.
This is something that will be very rewarding, and you'll be involved even after the class.
Awesome. All right, everybody. That is our time, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Another wonderful special investigation
Thank you.
episode. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Sometimes I feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.